Just started. Hasn't even started yet. Oh, of course. Never mind. I see what's wrong. Yes. I'll see this.
I'd like to go ahead and call this meeting to order. This is an emergency meeting of the Oceanside City Council. I'd like to then ask our city clerk to call roll, please.
Mayor Sanchez,
Present.
Deputy Mayor Kime. Here. Councilmember Joyce,
Present.
Councilmember Weiss. Here. And Councilmember Robinson is absent for this.
Thank you very much. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Thank you very much. This is an emergency meeting, a special meeting. And the one item, really the only general item we have is adopting a resolution to ratify a proclamation of a local emergency because of our beloved pier, our iconic pier, caught fire. Before I do that, I'd like to go ahead and first call item number 2, which is off agenda items. Do we have anyone signed up to speak on off agenda items?
We have no off agenda items.
All right, thank you very much. So that's taken care of. So we'll go ahead and go to item number 1. And that is adoption of a resolution ratifying a proclamation of a local emergency by the Director of Emergency Services due to a fire that erupted on the city's pier on April 25th, 2024. We do have a report by our Fire Chief, David Parsons, who's been a real true hero during this entire time. I'd also like to note we have several members of our staff present. And also would like to also state for the record that we have the Brine Box crew also in the chambers with Chef Rachel and everybody else who, went through this and are going through this. So thank you very much for being here. Chief Parsons.
Honorable Mayor, members of the council, thank you. Good afternoon. I appreciate the kind words, Mayor, but the heroes in my eyes are the people that did the really, really hard physical work.
We've got lots of them.
Yeah, there are a lot.
Yes.
You're right. As chief officers, we support them and they're amazing. Thank you. So for the council, presenting a resolution to ratify the Emergency Services Director's proclamation declaring the existence of a local emergency. Staff recommends that the City Council adopt the resolution ratifying the Director of Emergency Services proclamation declaring the existence of a local emergency and authorize the city manager or designee to seek assistance from the California Office of Emergency Services. For background, on the afternoon of April 25th, 2024, smell and sight of smoke at the end of the historic Oceanside Pier was called into the public safety dispatch system. The fire that quickly developed on the pier's west end required significant assistance from city, county, state, federal, special districts, and private industry resources. At 3:02 p.m., the call was dispatched. Simultaneously, Oceanside Lifeguard Division personnel began evacuating the pier. Lifeguards also prepared vehicles and equipment to move firefighters down the length of the pier following procedures that have been developed during emergency planning. These are things that we've worked on in the past. At 3:05 PM, Oceanside Engine 211 arrived on scene with a total response time of 4 minutes and 43 seconds. At 3:09 PM, the Oceanside Marine Safety Unit boat 2164 arrived. They provided first water on the fire at approximately 7 minutes after dispatch. The fire department as lead agency assumed incident command and management, and we called it Pier IC. The Oceanside Police Department provided unified command support at the incident command post. Oceanside Fire Department personnel from all divisions, including operations, lifeguards, training, administration, community risk reduction, responded, coordinated, and performed critical tasks. This is within moments of personnel arriving. Picture number 2, upon arrival in the first few minutes. The City of Oceanside Emergency Operations Center was activated at 5:23 PM, which is within hours of the incident. EOC activation ensures a coordinated, effective, and efficient use of resources to support local emergencies and follows guidelines established in the Emergency Operations Plan, or EOP. Per policy, the EOC and EOP follow the California Standardized Emergency Management System and the National Incident Management System. These pictures are the fire developing. For the emergency proclamation, EOC staff convened the evening of the incident, April 25th, and determined that a proclamation of local emergency should be recommended to the Director of Emergency Services, City Manager, who happened to be a designee at that time. This was based on the actual and threatened existence of conditions of extreme peril to the safety of persons and property within Oceanside due to the fire at the pier. City Council must ratify within 7 days of the Director of Emergency Services making this proclamation. Next few pictures are where we have under control and moving into the overhaul stage. Overhaul is finding hidden fire and smoldering fire so that we do not have a rekindle or a problem later on. The white smoke is also indicative of water on the fire. On this picture, I'd like to point out that the black stops at the trench cut. You'll notice that a trench cut is not every piece of material because obviously that would compromise the safety of the pier. And that achieved 2 objectives for us. It was a line that we could say we're going to hold it here, stopping fire from either above at the deck or the building level. Also, because one of the indicators that told us that we needed to do this was there was fire coming in underneath the firefighters on the pier at that location. And that was the one way we could get to it. The boats were not able to access the angles that they needed. For the emergency proclamation, the city will be seeking a governor's declaration or Office of Emergency Services Director's concurrence to provide up to 75% of reimbursement of eligible costs. If we receive the governor's declaration, 2 categories of work will be up for reimbursement: emergency work, including debris removal and response, and permanent work, which is the rebuild of utilities, roads, bridges, and other type of items like that, fixed facilities. If we only receive OES director's concurrence, permanent work only is covered. Different level of view for the trench cut. And also approximately when we were achieving loss stopped, and that's our last benchmark for containing a fire. And we've stopped the smoldering and continued consumption of any wood or products that are being combusted. Some of the costs and impacts to the community, not all of these are reimbursable, but many of them will be. Overtime, debris cleanup, demolition, repair of the pier structure with facilities and utilities. Equipment rental like lighting, supplies like shoring and fencing, food, and of course, there are tourism impacts and staff time impacts. A couple of slides on thank yous, and we say it often. I don't think we can say it enough because the success would not have been possible without our help from our other agencies. So the cooperators are Oceanside City staff and EOC personnel, North County agencies like Vista, Carlsbad, North County Fire, and Camp Pendleton Fire. And there were many departments that filled our fire stations in behind the city of Oceanside while the majority of the department was on this incident. Cal OES with their infrared airplane, air platform above. Hazmat, both county and city and San Diego City Fire. The lifeguard division for San Diego with their fireboat. Cal Fire, San Diego Sheriff, Metro Arson Strike Team, their K9. Port of San Diego Harbor Police Fireboat, Bureau of ATF, and of course, our private industry partners who were very valuable here. There are more. I specifically wanted to call out Measure X because residents, businesses, and visitors in Oceanside help fund some critical things in this city, particularly the fire department. Watchtower, which is situational awareness that the lifeguard division has and is able to reach out to the public to share information and provide items related to the beach safety, pier safety. They put in a new PA system within the last year. That PA system helped evacuate people off the pier. The PA system that it replaced was end of life. No parts were available anymore. It could not be used. The moment one thing went bad, it was out of service and they were having a lot of trouble using it at all. It was being patched together. So that was done just in time. New lifeguard towers were there. PWCs, which are personal watercrafts, or the jet skis, which were providing life safety protection for firefighters in the water. On the fire and EMS operations, the downtown medic squad was on scene. The dedicated ladder truck, which is a part of the EMT program where we shifted some personnel onto a specialty apparatus. These are the firefighters who led and performed the trench cut. They went through 5 chainsaws, burned one up. Sorry, Bill Moya, finance director. Went through many chainsaws, and that specialty knowledge and that capability is what made this faster and more efficient. In addition, and I have a great picture coming up, where the EMTs, as part of our BLS program, who helped pull a large hose line down the pier. The blue helmets are EMTs in the city of Oceanside. They are not firefighters, but they stepped up and did a wonderful job. I'm going to back up because in front of those blue helmets are lifeguards as well. Thank you for indulging me in that. And finally, recommendation to the council. Staff recommends that the council adopt a resolution ratifying the Director of Emergency Services proclamation declaring the existence of a local emergency and authorize city manager or designee to seek assistance from the California Office of Emergency Services. I'm available for questions.
Thank you very much. And Mr. Borrego, as Director of Emergency Services, did you have anything to add?
Honorable Mayor and council members, I just kind of wanted to echo some of the things that were relayed by Chief Parsons and really express our gratitude to our partnering agencies. There were many that helped immediately jump into action and really help minimize the damage as you saw from the photos. It was a true team effort, and we really did ended up faring as well as we could have under the situation, thanks in large part to that additional assistance that we were able to receive. I also wanted to take this opportunity to again reiterate that we as staff understand the importance of the pier to the city. It is a defining feature of the city that has a long storied history. It's a beloved structure in the city that serves both our residents and our tourists alike, and we will do everything that we can to expedite the reconstruction. We are actively meeting and conversing about the best way to go about that, and also working on temporarily, or I should say, reopening the pier in some sort of an interim fashion as quickly as we can, ideally before the summer season sets in. So that's our goal, and we're going to do everything that we can to get that reopened to the extent that we can, given its current condition. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Borrego. And Chief Parsons, will your presentation be available to the public?
I can make it available to the public. And Mayor, if I may, on one more item. I
Yes.
skipped over it. The top bullet point here is we've calculated linear feet of the pier, and we're at 93% of that pier has been saved linearly.
You said 93? or is it-
93. Yeah. We were estimating 90% initially, but it's actually up now to 93%.
It's fantastic. Thank you very much. Do we have any members of the public wishing to speak on this item?
We do not.
Okay. Does anyone from the Brine wish to speak? I'm going to invite you. No? Okay. Thank you. All right. Well, it's to the council now. Does anyone wish to speak? Councilmember Joyce?
I'll just follow up. I want to thank the employees for being here. They were part of the safety effort on that day as well. Also, our maintenance staff and utility staff, engineers who all pitched in to make sure that everyone was safe. Seeing our firefighters and lifeguards do the work that they did that day, I am overwhelmed with gratitude. After watching them fight a fire on a wood structure suspended above the ocean. I mean, it was an incredible feat, and what they did really saved something that's very special to the city and to all the people who come here every year around the world. So many people reached out expressing their devastation at the fire, but also their gratitude for our local heroes. So I just want to echo that response.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Kime.
On council, often we have very vigorous debates and have very strong feelings that are different from each other. But I want to give the public, our residents, confidence that you see all of us here today, we're all on the same page. So you know that we're going to work together to get this done. So this is not something where there's any space between us. This is important to all of us, I think you see. So I just want to give you that extra confidence, knowing that it's a priority to get this taken care of. So thank you for coming.
Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and move adoption of this resolution, this very critical resolution that is to declare an emergency here in the city of Oceanside. There are probably literally millions of stories about the pier. The pier has existed for so long in different iterations, right? This one with the restaurant on it since, geez, when we were in high school, trying to remember what year it was built. And so it's iconic. When you think about something iconic, it's something that you recognize because of what it looks like and because you've been there, and then you have these stories, things that happen there. I read a post that talked about someone who was there when he would go there because he got a new job. That's where he proposed. I mean, there are all these stories. I was fished on the pier with my grandfather, born and raised here. So of course, pier has always been there, always a fishing pier. And I am so very grateful to all that responded to this hit on the city of Oceanside, hit on our heart. This is really, truly heart and soul of the city of Oceanside, our iconic pier. So thank you very much for everyone. Thank you especially to staff, our fire department. Thank you, Blake. Thank you, everybody, lifeguards, EMTs, our police officers, really for never having had this kind of situation happen to this extent. I want to say it was probably one of the biggest urban fires we've ever had in the city of Oceanside. I think there was an early fire of a hotel, maybe, back in the day, many moons ago. I want to say the early 1900s, but gone ahead and moved for adoption. Is there a second? Okay, there's a motion and second. Please vote.
Motion approved 4-0.
Thank you very much. So the next regularly scheduled meeting is 3:30 on Wednesday, May 8th. Meeting adjourned. Thank you. Thank you very much.